Hey everyone, welcome to Potomac Local PLN on YouTube. Hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving holiday as we wrap up the weekend here after our food coma and family and get together and that Christmas shopping you've probably already started. We're talking about the potential for our first winter storm of the season. Come on in here, guys. I'll tell you about it. I'll show you what we are looking at. And as you know, here at PLN, we love to do winter weather because it's just not only fun to track what the storm will do if we have a storm and take pictures of the snow and talk about the impacts of the conversation that winter weather brings us every year, but also the important storm closures for the school divisions that we cover everywhere from Fredericksburg to Manassas to Woodbridge and all points in between. It's very important that we keep a watch on what's happening with the winter weather, as this could be the first storm of our season, which meteorological winter, by the way, starts tomorrow, December 1st. So as far as the weathermen are concerned, the weathermen, the weather gals, the weather people, winter starts tomorrow, even though the calendar doesn't have it starting until much later in the month of December. So technically we're still in fall, but December is a winter month. So let's jump into the forecast here. What we're seeing now, I checked the National Weather Service, and this is what the Washington, D.C., Baltimore National Weather Service, what they're reporting right now. So what we're going to be dealing with tomorrow, Monday, December 1st, 2025, we're going to be looking at high pressure, which will be settling into the region on Monday, December 1st. So this will be a brief calm before the next system comes through. And we said the next system because if you woke up this morning and maybe heard some ice pellets on your window, or looked around and it was wet, and been out today, we've had rain through the area for most of the day. It's been a cloudy day here, Sunday, November 30th, 2025. And if you were up before about 8 a.m. and looked out your window, it could have been snowing where you are, it could have been sleeting where you are, depending upon where you are in our PLN coverage area in Northern Virginia. But we've had some winter. We just had a taste of winter weather this morning just before 8 a.m. And it looks like we may have it again on Tuesday. So continuing on with that Weather Service forecast, what we're seeing is a new storm system arrives early on Tuesday, bringing the season's first wintry mix for many. So another disturbance is also expected toward the end of the week, and we'll get into all of that. But first, if you have not liked this channel already, if you are not subscribed to this channel already, if you like what we do and you want more local news from where you live, well, you have come to the right place. Please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube page here on PLN. And if you want more local news, if you really like to be in the loop about what's happening where you live in the communities of Fredericksburg, Manassas, and Woodbridge, head over to our website, potomaclocal.com, and sign up for our free email newsletter. I send that thing out every day at 4 p.m. It's chock full of local news from this region and across Virginia, so you won't guess what's happening where you live. You'll know what's happening by signing up for our free email newsletter at potomaclocal.com. All right, so turning back to the weather now, we've got a forecast for tonight, Sunday, November 30th, 2025. So the weak warm front that has already pushed north is bringing milder air in and rising dew points. And again, this coming from the National Weather Service. So they're telling us a cold front over the Ohio Valley moves through tonight. So you can continue to expect sprinkles and light rain, especially in southern Maryland, ending by late evening. The clouds will hang around, but the temperatures will drop after the cold front passes. So more of the same, more of the wet weather, more of the sprinkles, more of the cold, and getting colder as the sun has gone down, and the temperatures will drop accordingly. Turning our attention to Monday, tomorrow, high pressure briefly builds in, bringing us generally quieter weather, cooler but calm on Monday. So that's important. Really nothing going on weather-wise Monday, just the kind of the calm before the storm. But that high slips away Monday night, and that then opens the door for Tuesday's storm. So Monday night into early Tuesday, here's what we're looking at. The wintry mix arrives then. Low pressure developing in the southeast and lifts toward the Carolinas and New England. So that residual cold air at the surface plus the precipitation may start as a wintry mix in our area. So we laid out for you the cold air is already in place. And you may know, if you've lived here a long time, it's generally it's either cold and dry and no snow, or it's too warm and we get rain, right? But it has been cold the past few days. We've had this cold pattern setting in, and now that we are getting these systems coming through, we have a real shot at getting snow out of this. So at least some wintry mix, wintry precipitation, as they like to call it. But normally and early in the season, you may well know, we typically don't get snow around here until January, February, maybe early March, and that's it a couple times. But to have it in this early in the season and in early December, that is unusual. And that's another reason why we're continuing to watch this storm. So the first flakes and ice, depending upon where you are possible after midnight, Monday, early into Tuesday morning. And we're going to get into a map. I'm going to show you what the Weather Service is saying as to where this could fall. So stay with me here, because we're going to go on and continue on with the forecast, but stay tuned because I've got that map coming up. I want to show you what that looks like. So don't go anywhere. The trend is toward a faster arrival for this storm. Earlier start time is now likely, as what the Weather Service is telling us as we check that forecast. So now here's a look at who might get what. Actually, before I go into that, before we talk about who's going to get what in impacts, let's talk about what the Weather Service is showing us. So I'm going to bring this on the screen here. And what we have, this is the product that the Weather Service produces. And this is the expected snowfall. This is valid 1 p.m. today, Sunday, November 30th, 2025, through 7 a.m. Wednesday, December 30th, 2025. And so you see our region here. You see Fredericksburg. You see Manassas. You see Woodbridge here. You see that we are looking in our area to be about a half an inch to a trace of snow. Like Warrenton is marked at a half an inch in Washington, D.C., a trace in Fredericksburg, and a trace of snow in southern Maryland in La Plata. The further west you go, it looks like here in Winchester, we've got about a 1 inch forecasted out. Luray, about a half an inch. Harrisonburg, half an inch. So the further north and west you go, and you've heard this before, if you've been watching weather as long as I have in the Washington, D.C. region, the further north and west, the more you could see. Okay, so this is what that map looks like, and I click over here. This is what we're looking at here is the high end amount. So this is a 10%, 1 in 10 chance of higher snowfall. All right, so again, this map valid today, Sunday through Wednesday, 7 p.m. Wednesday. And so if this is a boom storm, right? If we get more, we are looking at about a half an inch for Fredericksburg. It's looking like about an inch for for Gainesville and Haymarket. Could be about an inch for Manassas. Maybe a half an inch for the Woodbridge area. Going further south and east again, going toward the Potomac River here, and then in southern Maryland again, La Plata, about a half an inch there. So the more we go up, but you can see those totals as you go up into Winchester. You got 3 inches in Winchester, 2 inches in Leesburg. But Frederick, Maryland may pick up Frederick and Hagerstown up here, 4 inches out of this storm. So this is the boom scenario for the National Weather Service as they put this map out here. It's issued again today. And on the low end, This is the map you snow lovers hate. This is not the one that you want to see. This is the womp womp map because this is the low end. This is a 9 and 10 chance, 90% of higher snowfall. And you see here, it's pretty much, if this storm's a bust, you can expect a trace of snow in Hagerstown, a trace in Frederick. So there's higher up places northernmost on the map here in the Washington, D.C. National Weather Service, Baltimore, Washington Weather Service coverage area. That's if the storm is a bust. So those are the scenarios that we're looking at. Those three maps, I always like to check those before we put out the any sort of winter forecast. Whenever we post the latest forecast at PotomacLocal.com, I always like to look at those maps to show you what we are seeing from the National Weather Service. All right, now let's get into if we have a snowstorm here. If we do, and I preface with if. This is a look at the impacts and who gets what. So again, areas most likely to see accumulating snow right now as it sits on Sunday night, northern and western Maryland, and those who live in the higher elevations. So out in the Shannon, out in the mountains, out west, I-81 corridor. Now, this is interesting because we just mentioned the I-81 corridor. The Weather Service tells us they are at risk most for ice in the Shenandoah Valley. So we're watching that right now. Weather Service is saying that the Shenandoah Valley, so if you live out in Luray, if you live out in Winchester, if you're living out in, again, that I-81 corridor, we have an ice threat coming up here for that part of Virginia and eastern West Virginia as well. So ice threats there. Back closer to home, Northern Virginia, Fredericksburg, we're looking, the Weather Service is telling us the precipitation may start mixed, but the details are still fuzzy, right? We're still 2 days out on this storm, and it's coming together. So we are watching this, and we're going to see exactly we're keep an eye on it. Bring you the changes as it happens. If you like these types of weather videos, if you want us to continue bringing this, please like this video and let us know, and comment below and tell us what kind of weather information that you like from us here at PLN and PotomacLocal.com, and we love hearing from you. So please do like and tell us. Comment below there. There are some key uncertainties here, and the models are going back and forth. The Weather Service is telling us that there is some uncertainty on the southeast edge of the storm. Other models having it trending farther northwest. So some models like the GFS, that's the American model, and the Canadian model are kind of in the middle of things. So this is one of those storms. They're telling us that a small shift in the storm could equal big differences in the amount of snow or ice that we see in our immediate area. So keep a watch on it, because we'll be covering this and tracking this as it moves into our area. Cold air is transient and shallow, making the precipitation type tricky to nail down. So what that means is we have cold air in place, but it's not a deep freeze cold air. It's not. We have not seen evenings, overnight lows in the teens and 20s, where it has been cold. I think I woke up this morning and I looked out, and I was one of those people who heard that ice hitting my window, and I checked the temp, and it was right at freezing, about 32, 33. So where that is cold, it is not a deep freeze cold. So depending upon how cold that weather is, those temperatures are, is what we'll see in terms of snow and ice, or just plain old rain, maybe some freezing rain. And this is classic, right? We're always in that setup. We're always in that area where we don't really know exactly what we're going to get when it comes to winter weather, because it's always, again, as we're looking at those maps just a minute ago, we were looking at the potential higher snowfall totals in the north, Maryland, Winchester, Virginia, those areas, and in the south, Fredericksburg down to Richmond, could be a trace to nothing. So we're always in that sort of snow, will it, won't it, what we will get type of thing. So that's going to be key is the area of the cold air and how long it's in place, and we'll be watching. So the Weather Service wants us to get out this message that travel could be slick early Tuesday morning. So if you're heading out early Tuesday morning, you need to be prepared for slick road conditions. And plus, on top of that, it's the first event of the season. So it hasn't snowed around here. I think we had a lot of snow this past January, if you remember. I remember my ground being covered for most of January with snow. And I think people have, January was about 12 months ago. So it's been a while since we've seen some snow in our area. So this will be the first big sort of winter weather event of the season. Has the potential to be the first big weather event of the 2025-2026 winter season. So allow extra time Tuesday morning. Expect changing conditions hour by hour. And of course, stay tuned to local weather and PotomacLocal.com and here at PLN. We'll be telling you about the changes in the weather. So finally, we are watching for an early season wintry mix Tuesday morning. The timing still uncertain. The impact depend on whether or not temperatures stay cold enough before sunrise. That is key. Those temperatures cold enough before sunrise. So keep checking back in with us for updates here on PLN, on our YouTube page, Facebook, and of course on our website, PotomacLocal.com, where we update all day long, every day, to keep you informed and up to date on what's happening in your part of Virginia, Fredericksburg, Manassas, and Woodbridge, and across the state. So you always know what's happening where you are in Virginia. Guys, that's it. I'm Uriah Kaiser. I'm the founder and publisher of Potomac Local News. Thank you for joining us on this video, and we will see you on the next one. Have a great evening.